The bottom dropped out of Nathaniel's stomach. Bloody hell! Had she guessed the truth about Jocelyn? Had he given it away somehow? Trying to buy time to figure it out, he said, "I'm not sure I understand." Her frown deepened. "I need to know if Mrs. March is, or ever was, your mistress, and if Jimmy is your son. Because if they're your secret family, then we need to rethink your plan to introduce her into society. I mean, it couldn't—" She petered out as she apparently took in his stunned expression. The accusation differed so markedly from what he'd been expecting that at first he could only gape at her. Then he found his voice. "Why the devil would you assume? No, of course not." He shoved his hand through his hair. "Jocelyn isn't my mistress. I don't bed children." "Jocelyn is hardly a child." "To me she is. When I first met her, she was 16 and newly married. She was only 17 when Jimmy was sired, and, I should add, not by me. I do not rob cradles, madam. How could you think it?" "How could I not think it?" She strode up to him, her fine blue eyes sparking with every step. "For one thing, how could Mrs. March have found herself in the family way when her husband was on the peninsula? You said Jimmy is 2, so he had to have been conceived in England around the time you returned, a few months shy of 2 years and 9 months ago." Damn, he hadn't realized what Eliza might presuppose. Others might too, so he'd best make the truth clearer. Or as much truth as he dared let her see. "Mrs. March was abroad with her husband. I thought you knew that." She stared at him. "But wives do not generally— Samuel said wives of officers do not—" "If he said that, he lied. Yes, there's a quota for the rank and file. Only a few wives are allowed to go, but any officer can bring his wife abroad if he chooses. Most don't. It's a hard life. Sam probably knew you would wish to go, so to avoid an argument he told you that you couldn't." Her lips tightened into a thin line. "That sounds like him." "Jocelyn was raised in the regiment, but only because her mother died in childbirth when Jocelyn was 6, and there was no one else to take her.